Well, welcome to 2026. I hope you all had a good New Year's and Christmas and all that. This is episode number 175. And we're going to do a state of the channel. And basically, I currently have 57 subscribers. I average about, 4.5 minutes per video for people to actually watch it. And majority of the people who visit are not my subscribers. Thanks, guys. You're 1%, everybody else is 98%. So, it's interesting. If I go through the excuse me, if I go through the AI assistant, I should make things more descriptive and more descriptive mostly. The comments are interesting. Some people think I'm boring. I probably am. I'm not an exciting person. My car is jack. I'm not sure exactly what that means. At one time that meant it was really cool, and another time it means it was a piece of shit. I guess it depends what generation you're talking to, because it changed meanings over the years. The last video we did was on the fuel pump, getting the fuel pump and the fuel lines all working up and get that whole situation working out. He's going to take the car on an extended cruise, a shakedown run basically. And I think in a previous video I mentioned I had some gunk in the oil, so I changed the oil, put 4 quarts of 1030 weight oil and a quart of Rizlone oil additive to clean up the rings and whatnot, get some more stuff out of the engine. It has been sitting for 25 years. And I started up and I was letting it idle in the driveway. And I was sitting on the side waiting for the, a couple minutes, get it warmed up so it'd be worth the trip. I was going to go on about a 60-mile trip, which is about an hour and a half around the local area, up and down hills, around corners. Basically driving just to see if everything's going to work, shake out. Because the last 174 videos was trying to make the car run correctly. After years of sitting around, things don't work so good, so you got to fix them. As I was sitting in the driveway idling, I heard a clunk, and the red oil pressure light came on. So I reached over, turned it off, and it's basically sitting there ever since. Except now it is torn down, so I can pull the engine and transmission out, and I'll be doing that as soon as I get a new engine built for it. Unfortunately, I didn't have any budget to do a new engine. So I had to buy stuff, and I had to save and buy stuff. And it's about a year later, a little bit over a year, and I finally got everything I need to build an engine. See? It's all right there. Right there. See? All that neat stuff. That's going to go in the engine. And we're going to try to build about 180, between 170 and 180 horsepower slant 6, which Chrysler did for the export market. Get those lights out of there. And then we're going to go try to make 250 horsepower. And we're going to use a turbo. Yay, turbo! And everybody look at it and goes, oh, that's a draw-through system. Nobody uses draw-through. Yeah, well, I believe a street-driven car should have a choke. And you do a blow-through system, you lose the choke. I believe a street-driven car should have a heated intake to keep the fuel mixture circulating properly through the runners, and a blow-through system does not. I can name the number of manufacturers that actually use the blow-through system in production. There is Graham Motor Car. They put a Paxton supercharger on their flathead 6 to get a couple extra horsepower. There's Ford, who use a Paxton supercharger to make the Thunderbird a little faster, so I keep up with the Corvette. There's Studebaker, and the R2 and R3 engines, they use the Paxton supercharger on top of a Carter AFB. Ford used the Holly. Graham used, God knows what one barrel they used. Maserati had the bi-turbo in the mid-70s. They had dual Weber downdrafts. Lotus used Weber 45s, IC or whatever, DCOEs, and Porsche may have did something with blow-through Webers in the early 70s, but I think they pretty much switched over to fuel injection as soon as they could. Everybody else used draw-through. It works. It works very good on the street. And contrary to what some people say, it wasn't a bad system. This thing here is for a 1983 Buick Riviera with a 235 with a 3.8. Depends how you want to talk about it. And it was good for about 70 horsepower on top of the base engine. So the base 235 in 1983, I think, put about 150 horse out. They added the super turbocharger on it, and they got around a little over 200. It's probably the pinnacle of Buick's and or GM's carbureted turbocharging. After that, in '84 and on, they went to fuel injection in various modes. And to tell you the truth, fuel injection is probably the best way to do turbo systems, especially if you got all the monitoring, electronic monitoring, and you have enough computer sensors to monitor everything so you can run decent compression and make good power. My car, on the other hand, is going to be an analog system, and we're going to not use a computer or anything. We're going to all do it analog, vacuum lines and fun things like that. But we'll announce a channel, a series for doing that. I'll be building a high performance slant 6. That means different things to different people. When done, I hope I get around 250 horsepower. And I can hear the V8 guys going now, oh my God, why don't you just put a 5.9 Magnum in it? You get 350 horsepower stock, man. Why waste all that time on the slant? Well, I don't know. Look around. I don't see any Magnums sitting on the corner, on the floor. I don't see a transmission for a Magnum. I don't even see a transmission for an LA block. I gotta pay money for that stuff, but I don't got the money. Nobody's paying me to do these videos. The YouTube bonus isn't kicked in yet, not with 57 subscribers. Anyway, like I said, we're going to do a performance channel and what I consider a good street high performance slant 6. And it's going to be a little bit more than just dropping a cam in one, which is what everybody else wants to do. Anyway, that's coming up. Oh yeah, I'm on light duty. I have a health issue. I gave myself a hernia somehow, and I can't pick heavy things up. So my youngest son's going to help me. And the last time he helped me on the car, he was 13. And that was 26 years ago. He helped put the engine that's in the Dart in there when he was a kid. Now he's going to help me take the engine for the Dart and put it in the Duster. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, until next time, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And you 1% that watch my videos, better start watching more. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Tell everybody who hates a slant 6. That'll do it. Or that I'm using a slant 6, a turbo, not putting a V8 in it. That'll get everybody looking. Okay, till later. Talk to you guys. Bye.